You are listening to Ask the Answers podcast. Join me, Adele as I uncover the knowledge, inspiration, and empowerment the psychic world has to offer. Let's begin. So, welcome to this week's podcast with international psychic medium. We've got Robert Lee. How are you, Robert?
I'm good. How are you?
Yes, very hot today. I think it's the hottest day of the year.
Is it? I think it's 20 degrees in Scotland. That's not too hot.
Oh, you're all right. It's about 32 here. I'm literally going to end up in a puddle on the floor. Yeah, it's literally boiling. And as I spoke to you before, like having a nightmare now in the hottest room in the house there possibly could be. So, yeah, I should lose a few calories during this podcast, which is always good.
That's true.
Oh, I don't need to do a workout today. Right, well, let's find out all about you, Robert, because you've got so much experience, you've got so much talent that I want to hear about. So, obviously, as we mentioned there at the start, you're an international psychic medium, but how did you get to that point? Where did it start?
Well, I've been working as a psychic full-time now. Well, I don't actually see it as work, but for talking's sake, we'll call it work. Mm-hmm. I've been working as a psychic now for full-time for 5 years. And during that time, I've been fortunate enough to, well, I don't know what to say actually. During that time, I've been fortunate enough that things always seem to land at my feet, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So for the past few years, it all started when I was 20. So, I mean, I know I'm only like 18, right? I say that joke all the time. And it's still, people probably still don't laugh at it, but I've been known I was a psychic in my late 20s. In fact, I knew I was psychic in my early teens.
Yeah.
But in my late 20s, I started to hone in on my psychic abilities, and I started to work more on my psychic abilities and more on my spiritual side, like connecting with spirit. So I mainly work with my spirit guide, and that is where my journey takes me to, because my spirit guide tells me everywhere that I need to go and what I need to be doing.
And before you had the spirit guides, obviously working with yourself, what were you doing before then?
So I worked in W.H. Smith before. So
do
you know the travel stores and W.H. Smith, you know how they get them like at the railway, the airport.
Yeah.
Where else do you get them? Hospitals, because I've worked the hospital one before. I used to work there.
And were you picking up the spiritual books when you were at work?
Yeah, so I was always looking at, this is funny because I was always picking up like, you know, like Fate and Fortune, Take a Break.
Yeah.
So I've been in that magazine before, and I always used to pick it up, read it, and I would say things like, "Oh, I wonder if I would ever been in a magazine."
And you have featured in magazines.
I have featured in magazines. So I've featured in the magazines I used to read in my tea break. Right, you're not allowed to do that. So seeing you work at W.H. Smith, you're not allowed to take magazines and read the tea break, put them back. But I've done it anyway.
So you're getting a job there. That's a no-no. That doesn't happen.
That's a no-no. It doesn't matter. I've not been working there for over 5 years, so I don't think we'll get into trouble.
No, I'm sure you'll be fine. And obviously, thinking that one day you might be able to be in a magazine. You said there about your spirit guide. I mean, First of all, what is a spirit guide, and how do you even connect with one?
Well, that's a good question, isn't it? So your spirit guide is. So we're in the earth plane. So if we call this the earth plane, like the living world, and then we've got the spiritual realm. And I don't know why I want to do that, right? So I'll put my hands above my head. But anyway, the spirit realm, when we connect with the spirit world, we've got a guide that's with us in spirit. So we've also got angel guides as well, but that even goes even further, right? So that's the next level up. But if we just talk about our spirit guides at a minute, if we sit quietly and we connect with our spirit guides on our own, it takes a long time to build that energy up for the spirit world. So it takes a long time to realise even who your spirit guide is, but they make themselves more known to you. The more you connect with the spirit world, the more you sit with the spirit world, the more you touch, feel and smell the spirit world, the more you're going to be able to work with your spirit guide, and the stronger the messages come through for you personally. So my spirit guide, one of my spirit guides is my great-gran actually. So my great-gran Georgina. And it's funny because sometimes she works with me, sometimes she doesn't. But anyway, because I've got other spirit guides as well. But she's my main one. Mm-hmm. And I knew when I was 18, because she came to speak to me when I was 18 years old. She like appeared to me in a dream to tell me like, you know, because when you're 18, you don't know what direction you want to go in. And she was like, appeared to me and saying, look, you've got to help the world. And I thought, oh, that's good. That's nice. 18. What am I going to do at 18 to help the world?
Yeah.
It was later on, like I said, in my 20s where I realised that I was really going to help the world. So that is where like your spiritual development comes in. I mean, you don't need to go to every class under the sun for spiritual development, but because there's lots of classes out there.
Yeah.
But connecting with your spirit guide, you can do it at home, I say, like in your sacred space. So we've all got a favourite space we want to sit. So if we sit quietly, really quiet our minds, which is very difficult to do, and ask them to come in, they will eventually appear. You're going to do it for months, and then maybe before they even want to come in. But, you know, they'll eventually come in and make themselves aware to you.
And would it be like someone you've known or a family member necessarily that you would connect with a spirit guide?
It doesn't always need to be a family member or somebody necessarily. No, it could be somebody that's been in spirit a long time. Some people say they have like monk spirit guides and things like that.
Oh, okay.
Like, because they've been in spirit a long while. Or like a, you know, like you get like Chinese monks and things like that.
Yeah.
Possibly that they come forward to you in the spirit world. So it's not always somebody you know.
Yeah.
Not always somebody you know.
Do people think that you're crazy when you talk about the psychic world? People that maybe
all the time.
Oh. I'm not saying that you are crazy, but I'm just wondering.
No,
is it common for people to think that?
It must be quite. Do you know what? See when you're out and about, you're just doing your normal day stuff, right? Whatever normal is, and people say to you, "Oh, what's your job?" I normally say accountant or something like that.
Is that because you just don't want to even go there? You don't want to open accounts?
Yeah, because then people start to ask you, is there something around about me right now?
Yeah.
Do you know what's wrong with my foot? They start asking you all different questions.
So now suddenly you're a doctor. Oh dear.
So I normally say accountant, but apparently, right, people that say they're accountant right now, that means they do like OnlyFans or something like that. So I need to think of something different what I'm going to say.
Oh dear. Well, you might make a bit of money out of it.
You might.
So obviously, since you had the spirit guides working with yourself, what was your sort of next sort of steps? Did you start doing it just for your friends and family? Did you go straight into working with a company? Did you start doing performances? I mean, where did you start? Where did you go?
So that's a good question. So 2000, and I think it was 2018 or 2019, I started going to spiritist churches, like doing platform work in spiritist churches.
Yeah.
And I took private bookings in my home. And then, in fact, it might have been before that. It was roughly then. I can't remember the exact date offhand. But then after that, I realised that I wanted to get the word of spirit out more. I wanted to help people more on a psychic level. So I started to work from home, working for different companies. I started to do more phone readings, more FaceTime readings, and more email readings. So I started to reach a wider audience.
Yeah.
And also, I'm not saying I don't fit in at the spiritist churches. That's not the words I'm looking for. But I realised that I wanted to work on a bigger platform. So I started to do more my own events. So my own psychic nights, my own mediumship nights, just to reach that wider audience in the UK.
And how did it make you feel, the reactions that you got from people when you were telling them things about their lives that there's no way that you would know?
It's really quite amazing because even I amaze myself every day. So at the weekend, I was at an event and I thought, right, okay, and I was doing some private readings. Can I give you the example? Do you want to hear the example? Right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I was speaking to this one woman and I said to her, I started to sing, because I love music.
Yeah.
Adele, by the way, see anything to do with music, and spirit play me music all the time. So I'm always hearing music from the spirit world. And then I'll always pause sometimes and go, oh my God, have I got the radio on or that? No, it's not. It's actually music for spirit. So I was connected with this one lady and I started to sing Bonnie Tyler, It's a Heartache. Okay. And then the next thing I turned around, this woman's in floods of tears because her aunt, who's in the spirit world, was a Bonnie Tyler tribute act. And then I'm like, oh my God, shut up. Like, even I amazed myself.
Yeah.
Like, with the evidence that comes through from spirit. And I just thought, God, like, even some days, like, it's just, what comes through is amazing. Like, I can't even get away with it.
Yeah.
Myself with what comes through. So that was quite interesting. And the other interesting one was another woman, and her husband had passed away, unfortunately. So her late husband had come through. And I said to her, oh, your big cuddly teddy bear's here. And she said to me, yeah, that was his nickname. But I wanted to give her a little bit more, so I said to her, look, he says you're still cuddling into him. And I said, I don't really know what he means by that. And she says, well, I know, I've got all these ashes in a teddy bear and I hug it at night.
Oh, wow.
So, and that was only on Sunday, so that was only yesterday. And when people ask me, what's good examples, Robert, my mind's like, oh my God, I don't know. I really don't know. So it's good that I've got two fresh ones right off the head.
Definitely.
Right.
So, has the strength of your connection maintained the same? Has it ever sort of gone away at times and come back, or has it, has it always been at the same level?
This is a really good question, Adele. So it doesn't always maintain at the same level. Sometimes I've felt it's went away or it's weakened.
Yeah.
And when that happens, it's time for me to take time off, because I don't like time off. Right? So if they're taking a step back from me and they're saying, look, nothing's coming through, I'll think, oh my goodness, like, you can't do that to me. Yeah. And they'll say, right, okay, but we'll maybe let you speak to clients today, but like the next 7 days, you're going to have to like rest and recuperate. So it has worked like that. Yeah. And as a medium and as a psychic, I strongly believe that you've always got to be like doing classes, whether they're online or whether you're doing them in person, or refreshing your abilities, looking at different ways to make the connection stronger, make your readings better for your clients. So I'm a great believer in we're always learning. So psychic mediums, in my opinion, should always be learning. We should always be moving forward, seeing what the next thing is. Yeah. So I feel it's always good to try and strengthen your connection. Yeah, don't get complacent, don't get stagnant. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Do you like sharing your knowledge to others, or you're like, no, it's mine, you're not But they've thought of that, I kicked my table there. I share my knowledge with when a lot of clients ask me things about connecting with the spirit world, because I feel it'd be great if people could help themselves sometimes. Yeah. I'm not saying that you don't always need to phone someone, but it would be great if you just had a little bit of knowledge about angels on your own, and you could do a little bit of insight on your own. So I do share knowledge with clients and people over the years. I've shared a lot of stuff, yeah. So we talked about connections a few moments ago, obviously about your spirit guides. What other ways can you connect to get information through for people? So psychically, I would connect with people I would connect with people on a psychic level. So I'm looking at, I would be tuning into you. I don't always need to use tools to tune in on a psychic level. Yeah. We could see what was happening around about your energy. But I would also like use my tarot cards, we would use angel cards to see what was coming in psychically. Yeah. Do you know what's great for psychic readings? So the difference for me, like if I was in a mediumship reading, I wouldn't want you to tell me anything. Obviously, if we're on the phone, it's a little bit different. I need a bit of voice vibration at the start. We maybe talk about the weather and get that connection. Yeah. See what's coming through. Have a bit of a laugh. Psychically, I think questions are really good. And the reason because and I don't think, see, people have got this misconception. If you ask a psychic something, you're giving it away, right? That's no, because you've not told them anything. You're just asking a question. Yeah. And recently, I've been saying to my clients, do you know what? That's not the question you're looking for. You need to change your question, because if you're more specific with tarot, you're going to get more guidance coming through. So I like questions when we're looking at things psychically, clearly because we can utilize your time, because everything time 20 minutes, 30 minutes, we can home right in and see what's really the more open you are, the more open you can be back. Yeah, because I suppose when people used to go and see psychics, they used to do things like that, like take off their wedding bands and they still do. They still do. Yeah. And then they'll say, and I'll go, right, well, I need your voice, because this is me, I'm nodding, so it's a podcast, and I'll say, no, I need your voice, does that make sense to you? Well, I suppose. That could help. Yeah. But what happens is, once you get warmed up, because at the start of the reading it can maybe be a little bit clumsy, but once you get warmed up and the person warms up to you, it starts to really flow. Yeah, nice. So over the years, what's been sort of your biggest lesson that you've learned in the psychic world? You're only as good as your last reading. That's a good one, isn't it? Right? The things I've learned over the past few years is to be the authentic you when your clients come to you. Don't change who you are to suit a certain type of client. And the other things that I do is that I manifest. What was I going to say there? I've learned to manifest more for me, so I always put out a lot of energy to my clients. Always trying to help my clients to the best possibility, my best possibilities. But I've learned over the years to kind of sometimes I need to take a step back and live in like my world and live in the real world for me. I call it the real world because we're not in the spirit world all the time. But live in this world so that I can do what I want to do as well, because I'm very guilty of putting a lot of energy out to the spirit world, putting a lot of energy out to helping clients. So this year, in fact, the last year and a half, my life's changed. So I've spent more time at home. I've spent more time on me. Says me, who was working all day yesterday, and I was working last dance last night. But I've spent more time for me. That's one of the biggest lessons I've learned, because you can do too much to help other people, you forget to help yourself.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. With people that might be starting out or sensing that they might be spiritual themselves, I mean, are there any sort of telltale signs? Is there any sort of common sort of signs that people will see or feel, you know, starting out or connected with spiritual? I mean, do you have to even go through something tragic for that sort of awakening?
Most people that you talk to that are psychic or mediums normally have a tragic type of story to tell you. Most psychics and mediums I've spoke to have a story to tell. Not everybody, of course, but a lot of people. I feel like grief in your family, when there's loss in your family, you're intrigued by the spirit world, so people want to start to learn more. And they can.
Yeah.
Okay, they can go on and learn more, and some people just want to learn for them and maybe don't want to connect with other people. But spirit leaves us signs every day. There's signs every day that the spirit world's with us, whether it's through sense, whether it's through seeing, whether it's through gifts. So spirit are always with us. It's just because we live such busy lives, we don't always see them. I feel, in my opinion, maybe not everybody thinks this, but I feel everybody's got the ability to connect with spirit. I wouldn't say everybody's got the ability to pass on messages for spirit to other people on a public platform, but I feel everybody's got the ability to connect with spirit on their own.
Yeah. Do you get frustrated with skeptics out there that, you know, when people say about, oh, you know, the feather is a sign of a loved one, and then the skeptic might say, oh, it's just from your pillow, or it's from Donald Duck who's crossed the road and didn't make it. You know, do you get frustrated?
I kind of understand what you're saying. So I'm at the point in my psychic career now that if a skeptic comes to me, I probably won't read for them. How terrible is that, me saying that? Because I feel I've got so little time to convince people that there's a spirit world that I don't think you'd ever convince them, if that makes sense to you. So my sign for skeptics is to stay in your lane, if that makes sense to you, and let the spiritual people stay in their lane. Right?
You do you, and we do us.
You do you. You do you, chick, as they say, right?
Do you ever get so nervous or scared when you go and do sort of platform shows and all eyes are on you, and it's like, come on, give me a message, and there's people like really like looking at you intensely, like, please let it be me, because people go that are desperate for messages. That's why they're going, not probably, or you know.
It's really. I love working in platform. It's one of my favourite things to do. Hence why I do it. See, all day before a show, if somebody was to see me, they probably wouldn't even recognise me, because I probably would be hiding in my bed all day, just because I wouldn't. One, I'd be saving all my energy for the night, okay, and two, I'd be really nervous. Yeah. And the reason I get really nervous is it's not that I think spirit aren't going to come through. I just want to try and help so many people. Yeah. And I want to get it so right for everybody, so that they know that their loved ones are watching over them, and they know that there's a spirit world there. That it does make yourself sick, if that makes sense to you. You can make yourself like, but once you're up there, spirit just take over. Yeah. So it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I'll be like, oh my God, what was I even nervous about? And I've well buzzed. Yeah. There's all kinds of faces and stuff like that. So yeah, I really do enjoy that aspect of it. I just don't enjoy all the organising and the lead up to it. But once I'm up there, it's totally different.
What's been your sort of biggest highlights then over the years? What stood out to you with some of the things that you've done? Has it been the magazines? Has it been TV work, radio work, platform work?
So I've done all of those things. My most favourite thing was, I don't know if you've seen it, and it was more of a personal level for me, was being in Come Down With Me. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
So I was in Come Down With Me during lockdown. I hate mentioning that, but it was during lockdown. So it was in like a big castle in Scotland, because I stayed in Scotland. And it was the first time I got to do readings that was on mainstream TV. If that
Oh,
makes
okay,
sense
yeah.
to you. So obviously it's in Channel 4.
Yeah.
So Matt, you know how like you do entertainment on your nights?
Yeah.
So my night was doing readings.
Oh.
And so I done a reading and it got to go on television. And everything I said to the girl was true.
Oh,
Because
brilliant.
we done a follow-up later on. Was it on Restream or something like that? Anyway, it was on Twitch. We done a follow-up later on Twitch. And everything I said to her came to pass. So we've got the clip of the reading and then we've got the clip of her saying.
Oh, brilliant.
Amazing.
Amazing. Well, Robert, I can actually match you there because I was on Couples Come Dine with me.
Yeah. Were you?
Yes.
Oh my God. So that's your second TV appearance.
In fact, there's been numerous ones over the years. But yeah, no, I also met my husband on Take Me Out, the dating show, which is so off key now from the psychic world. But yeah, we met on there, and then we met on Couples Come Dine with me.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, lots of fun. So I mean, obviously, again, that's pressure, isn't it? There's cameras on you. There's there's a recording of it. So
an actual recording that people can go and watch because now there's everything's on apps, isn't it? Like you can go and watch everything, catch up. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I done it for me because I'm quite although I talk to people all the time, I see lots of people. I stand up and platform and there's people in front of me. I'm a really shy person. I know like lots of people say this, but I'm a really shy person. And people go, no, you're not. And I'm like, actually, yes, I am.
Mm-hmm.
The Robert that's not psychic Robert is actually really shy, really introvert, just wants to stay in the house. So I actually done that for me more than anything else, just to say,
yeah,
you done that, Robert, and then a big tick besides my name. And then I thought, do I actually want to go into TV work? Is that something I want to do, is being psychic? Because I always thought, I want to be in TV, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then after that show, I thought, well, I don't actually know if I want to do it. So open my eyes a little bit. Yeah,
I'm sure. Moving sort of forward, is there things that you would still like to achieve or do, or do you think you've done everything that you've wanted to do now? Are you just quite happy just giving the messages to those people?
My favourite thing's connecting with people and helping them. That's my favourite thing to do. Mm. I think often where it's going to go, like what direction am I going to go in, but I'm so happy just to leave it to see what's going to happen. Does that make sense? I'm so happy not to look at it.
Yeah, just go with the flow.
Yeah, I'm so happy just for it to
take its
see
course.
What the next thing is, yeah. Listen, I suppose everybody says they think there's bigger things out there for them, and I hope there is for everyone, and I hope there's bigger things out there for me. But I'm happy to see what's going to come in next.
Do you work with astrology?
Say that again?
Do you work with astrology? Are you an astrologer?
I don't work with astrology.
No.
But I'll look at astrology all the time.
Yeah, so I suppose there's things that you maybe don't specialise in or think, but you'll naturally know it anyway as a psychic with all the tools that you all work with.
My favourite thing to work with is the angels. So I do a lot of angel work. Anything to do with angels, any new angel tarot decks, any new angel oracle decks, I'm the person that buys them. Not necessarily saying that I use them.
Yeah.
But I've got this beautiful card collection that I just like to look at. And then I'm like, oh, I'll maybe use them one day.
So are you a fan of Anne Scholes then? Because she loves her angels.
Yeah, Anne Scholes.
Have you got any spiritual tattoos? Have you got any angel wings?
No. That's a bit as far as we go.
What is that?
It's a love heart. I'm too scared to get a tattoo.
What is your star sign, by the way?
My star sign?
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
Well, you said you were shy. You don't like admin, so you can't be a Virgo. I'm gonna go with. Okay, first of all, are you a water sign?
Yes.
Okay, are you a Pisces?
No.
Scorpio.
Scorpio, yes.
Oh, that's not bad. Second go.
Second go. How can you tell that I'm Scorpio?
Do you need to go to the toilet? The fingers up. Please, sir. What was the finger up for?
I was going to list all the things, the traits of a Scorpio.
The traits of a Scorpio. Secretive?
Secretive. Now, secretive, but in a good way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're good at keeping other people's secrets.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, aren't they? I mean, this is what I've learned from somebody who's not, obviously doing psychic readings and things like that. But is it they're quite sexual. They're good at keeping secrets. They're good with their money.
Yeah.
They can be quite tight with their money.
Yeah.
Because my husband's really tight with his money. He doesn't share it with me.
But I'm also Scottish as well. Scottish people are known for being tight, right?
That's how you get rich, isn't it? Yeah, and obviously very spiritual.
Yeah.
And very emotional.
Very emotional. And, like, sometimes with my clients, especially the lies, they phone me up and say something, we're very honest. That's the other thing, right? And I'll go, remember my get out of jail free card as if I say something that I maybe shouldn't have said. I'll say, remember my Scorpio?
I always find it funny with even people that don't really know too much about the psychic world. Their first sort of, even when you go dating, will say, what star sign are you? Oh, yeah, I dated one of them before. I've dated many of those ones before. Oh, yeah, no, we don't match. But there's so much more to your star sign than just obviously your star sign, isn't it? But it just made me laugh at half the time I don't even know what it means, but it's just a question that you might ask when you're out dating. What star sign are you?
Yeah.
So for you, when you go into doing like psychic development workshops, what sort of things would you teach people?
Oh, interesting question. So I would teach people how to like connect with their deck. Yeah. So like we would do how to create a sacred space in your home. That'd be the first thing we would do actually. So I always talk about people making a sacred space in their home, and I get it. Some homes aren't huge, so you don't need a hut out the back. You don't need a special room. Mm-hmm. You can just do it like in your kitchen, in your living room. You just create a little space, and every time you go to work, you go to that space. Mm-hmm. And the great thing to do is like play the same music in that space, maybe not over and over, but play the same soundtrack, light the same incense, because we want to get that sense that we're ready to work. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. Or the sounds that we're ready to work, so our body kind of goes into that. What do I want to say? What's the word? Our body goes into that mode where we're maybe like learning how to work with our tarot cards. So we would always talk about sacred spaces. Then we would talk about connecting with your deck, if we're doing angel card decks or tarot card decks, and about because it's important to connect with your decks. Okay, it's important to create that sacred space. And then we would talk about, like how to do readings and things like that. Mm-hmm. We would move on from there. That's how we kind of start it off. The most important thing, if you're wanting to do it from home, is just creating that sacred space. Yeah.
Because life is hectic and busy and noisy. And, if I went downstairs, I've got 3 noisy dogs. I've got 2 kids that are bored because school and, they're off school and they're like, please come and play with me. And I'm like, no, please go away. Just give me 5 minutes. So, it is finding that, even the time of day as well. Maybe it might be evening, maybe it might be early morning. Yeah,
this is the thing. It's got to be a time that would be suitable for you. Yeah. Like, see, for me, the idea of getting up in the morning to connect, that would just be awful. Like, nothing before 12 o'clock. But it's good if you maybe do it at the same time every day, or if you've done it every second day. So you're quite right there. And see if you just don't feel like doing it, your day's been so hectic, just don't do it, because then it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So don't force it. Yeah, don't force it. But consistency's key. So when people ask me about, how will I connect with my tarot deck? How can I do tarot readings, Robert? Consistency's key. Learning knowledge is key. Going with your gut instinct is key. So learning to realise what you're saying is true. Like, being confident with your words. Mm-hmm. So if you're seeing pink elephants in the cards, tell the person you're seeing pink elephants, because that could be really relevant to them. Maybe they had loads of balloons at the weekend that were shaped like pink elephants. It's trusting your gut instinct, because lots of things come through that you might think, that doesn't even make sense to me. So it's not about you making sense of it. It's maybe about the other person making sense of it. But it's all about being consistent.
I want to know what pink elephants mean now.
So do I. That just came out of my head.
Where's the relevant? Never forget. They never forget elephants.
They never forget. Scorpios never forget either. That's the relevance, right? There we go.
There you go.
Yeah. So I just feel it's really important, like if people are going to be learning, people are always asking about tarot now, aren't they? Do you find that, Adele? People are always asking about, it's not, it's more, it's always been there, tarot. Tarot's been about for a very long time.
Yeah.
But it seems like more out there now because we've got like social media, we've got more spiritual shops, we've got more spiritual events, and people are really curious right now about angels and about tarot. And I think that's probably because people are wondering what direction they're wanting to go in, because, and I don't mean to be too outside of the real world right now, people are need to know what direction they want to go in. They need some hope, they need some comfort.
Yeah. Do you think a lot of the readings are about more life coaching and hope rather than giving them a definite answer of what's to come, or whether they're going to be in a relationship next week, or whether they're going to get that job? Is it a lot of it is just having that support and someone just to, you know, bounce ideas off, or just to get confirmation, or just to reassure them?
I think that's good that you're asking that, because if somebody's asking me something, I'll say to them, I don't think that's on a... I'd be quick to say maybe that's not on a psychic level. You probably don't need to ask a psychic that question. But, you know, what if you done this and if you done that? Like on that kind of level of coaching, if that makes sense. There's a lot of spiritual coaches out there.
Yeah.
But you are helping people. And it's nice if you help somebody to get a job, for example, and told them, you know, this is what you can maybe do. And they come back and they tell you they've got the job. There's something really good about that.
Yeah. And I suppose as well as feeling them that confidence and that belief, as like you said, from that psychic level, you can maybe, whether it might be describing the situation, or how that other interviewer is going to be, you know, maybe they might be a little bit cold, or maybe they might be a little bit, you know, I don't know, standoffish, but just be prepared for that. Don't take it personally, you know, so, you know, it can all help. It all, you know, make it, you know, worthwhile, that reading, whether it's life coaching, supporting them, giving them insight into it. It's the whole package.
As a whole package, because I suppose as a psychic, if we just use the career example, I can say, yeah, you're going to get the job, but that person will be like, how do
I do it?
Yeah, how? Yeah. And that's where they can, you know, if you do that, maybe if you do this, maybe if you do that, because people have got all these abilities inside them, they just don't trust them.
Yeah, absolutely. Being the summer months, is there anything in the sort of summer like energy that's really good to work with in the psychic world? You know, some times of the year, whether it's the moon phases or whether it's spring cleaning, the equinox, is summer a powerful time?
Summer's a powerful time for connecting with nature. I have to look out, because I was like, my guy was like, look at the grass, get your words out, Robert, because I've always got a problem getting my words out. But summer's a good time for connect with nature, being by water, being by the sea. Okay, it's a good time for wellness. See, in the summer days, this is maybe the beauty of me being self-employed, but because we don't get a lot of sun, we want to get that sunshine when we can. Yeah. So if you're working from home, you could just try and get all your work done in the morning and then like spend the day at the beach the rest of the day. But yeah, it's a good time for wellness. It's a good time for maintaining your wellness.
And lots of people are doing lots of wellness retreats. Obviously, like you said, with the nicer weather, that people can get out and meet up with people and do with the longer days and the sunshine, be able to do more activities rather than it being shorter and dark and people not so up for going out.
Yeah, I feel so. Wellness retreats are great. But see, you actually think about it. I know, like, wellness retreats are great if you've got a busy house or if you want to meet other people, but you can also do that at home, couldn't you? Like, just say, right, okay, I'm off for 3 days. I'm going to turn my phone off for 3 days. I'm going to meditate outside. I'm going to eat healthy. We can do all these things on a weekly basis or on our own, if that makes sense. Absolutely. Not so easy for you, Adele, if you've got 3 kids running about a pony.
No. Just trying to think, when is my quiet time? My quiet time is when they go back to school. Actually, no, my quiet time is I do massage therapy as well. And I love that, because I work at Centre Parks and I go to the spa. I work at the spa there. And I love it because as soon as I'm in that room doing that massage, I just switch off. You got the music, got all the essential oils, and that is my relaxation time. So actually going to work is my relaxation, switch off from the world, just get into the flow of the massage or scalp massage or facial. And that I love that. That's my time.
Nice. And
I get paid for it. So it's a win-win.
Yeah. That's nice.
Have you written any books, any articles about the psychic world? Are you a bit of a writer?
I've written articles previously. A book. I get told about a book all the time. You should write a book. But I feel I'm too young to write a book here. it is something that I'm going to do, but I just feel it's not the right time yet.
You could do part 1, part 2, part 3. Or like Adele. Adele did one at 18, 21. The different stages.
Yeah.
Growing up as a psychic. Yeah.
Yeah. People say like, oh, you should write about your, like, people like your story's interesting. And you always go, like, but I think as a person, you always go, well, it's not really that interesting. It's just my life. But people do find it interesting.
But you just can't be bothered.
I never said that. That wasn't the words.
Yeah, that's too much effort right now. Too much to do than sit down and write a book. Oh,
listen, it takes me all my time to come onto a podcast. You're asking me to write a book.
Oh, what other things do you like enjoy doing apart from the psychic world? You got any hobbies?
No, I love watching television. Hobbies. Do you know, I don't think I have any hobbies. Do you know that? How boring does that sound? But I love going walking. That is you could say that's a hobby. I love being out walking. So I do a lot of walking, actually.
In Scotland, you've got loads of places to walk.
Loads of places to walk. And where I stay, I'm fortunate enough that it's all fields at the back of me. It's all seaside at the front. So there's beautiful places to walk here and explore.
Nice. Have you seen the Loch Ness Monster?
I don't live near the Loch Ness Monster.
My son was asking about that the other day. You mentioned Scotland. He went, "That's not real. That's not real." It's like, it is. It really is.
Now you've got me thinking that I need to find a hobby. My hobby is spending time with my cats. I've got 4 cats. So that's my hobby.
You're a cat man.
I'm a cat person. Yeah.
What is it like about cats?
They're not people. No, I'm only joking. I shouldn't really have said that. I'm only joking. I love people. I just love my cats. One of them's sitting here with me, actually. He's sleeping. Oracle. He's my oldest cat.
Oracle. Brilliant.
So
have they all got psychic names?
They've all got psychic names. So Oracle, Aura, Osiris, and Hades.
Brilliant.
I just love spending time with my cats. I don't know if they love spending time with me, but they're always around me. Right? I love
They're like, please feed me.
Yeah, please feed me. I know. Yeah, that's probably why he's sitting here.
Animals, obviously, are they spiritual? Have they got a sixth sense?
They're very spiritual. So I've actually got a cat in spirit as well. Adele is at my cat Azio, unfortunately got knocked over. And he's always about the house. Like I always feel as if I feel him about the house. And it wasn't until then that I realised how important it was for people to hear from their pets.
Gosh, yeah.
Because I never used to connect people with their pets before. I didn't know how. I just never thought about it. And then when my cat passed away, I thought, oh my God, it's so important that you connect people with their animals. So now that I connect people with animals, I've had horses in my house for spirit. I've had goats. I've had so many spirit animals in my house since my cat passed.
Like Noah's Ark in there.
I know. And I was like, because I was so upset about it, and I felt more upset when my cat passed than when anybody else had passed. I thought it was so like, how could my cat pass away? And I thought, I know why. I've got to. The bigger picture was, now I realised what it's like. I've got to help people with that. Cats that have passed to the spirit side.
That's such a good point, because they always say, they are just like your family, especially like your first pet. And I know one of my friends, she hadn't had any loss in her life, so when her family dog went, it was such a big thing, and it took a good old year or so to really recover from that. She felt really lost, and then she obviously got a new one, and it filled that space. But right, and would you connect the same way as you would with the human spirit?
Well, it's difficult to say because obviously I'm not talking, so it's more discreet. I'm not saying like if a human spirit, I could say, I've got your gran here and she's saying X, Y, and Z. Of course. With the cat or the dog, I'm describing the dog. I'm trying to get the name of the dog or the animal. Yeah. I'm trying to give the name. I'm trying to say like maybe how they passed. So it's a bit more descriptive. Yes. And then I'll say, oh, do you know what? Your dad's in spirit, and he's just brought his the black Labrador in with him, and it was called Jake. Yeah. And that would give the person a lot of comfort because they're thinking, oh my God, when my dog passed away, it's nice to know my dad's got. Yeah, the silly traits that maybe they did or whatever when they were in living. And it's funny because I would never have had 4 cats, only had Oracle and Azrael. And when he passed away, I thought, oh my goodness, I need 3 cats to fill the void.
Yeah. Aw. He must have been a good cat then.
Yeah, boys.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point to mention. You know, it's not always just the human, realm that people want to connect to when they pass. You know, animals is such a big part of people's lives. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
when people talk about animal guides, what are animal guides?
Animal guides, so like a spirit animal guide, which is really fascinating.
Hmm.
So I've actually got a card deck just specifically for finding out what your spirit animal guide is.
Yeah.
So it gives you a little bit of insight. Adele. They can change on a regular basis, your spirit animal guide. It gives you a little insight of how you're feeling right now, what's going on in your life right now.
Hmm.
So a spirit animal guide, if it's a dog that comes forward like a pet, okay, like a dog, that means you're being too obedient. Okay, you're maybe going with the flow too much.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. You're letting somebody lead your life a little bit when you shouldn't. So they all come with great messages on them. Or if you get a tiger, it's like you're foraging ahead, you're on the right path. So when you get these spirit animal guides, it's good because it's giving you that insight about who's with you right now and maybe what you need to do in your life right now. So it's a good trait. Apart from using the cards, I've got to admit, I couldn't say to people, right, okay, I'm seeing a gorilla behind you right now. It's not like that. I would use it through I would use it through the cards. That'd be quite cool though, wouldn't it? If you said to people, your spirit animal guide's a gorilla, he's standing behind you.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I like that. I might get those sort of cards. I quite like that. I think I would. Putting out what card, animal sort of energy you need to take on board for this sort of time of either the year or the weeks or the days. Quite good.
It's good. It's good. It gives you a lot of insight.
Absolutely. So what's next for you? Do you say you're just going with the flow? There's nothing sort of in the pipeline or anything as such?
So I've got my psychic shows and my mediumship shows. So I've got my tour at the end of. I don't do any tour work during July and August because I take some time back for myself over the summer months.
Yeah, nice.
But September to December, it's like full steam ahead where I'm going to be in different places, meeting different people, doing private readings, doing platform work or stage work, whatever you want to call it, connecting people with their loved ones. So I've been resting for that, and I'm really looking forward to seeing people again.
Yeah, and finding yourself a hobby.
Finding myself a hobby.
Yeah.
I'll need to write that down. I've been asked that. I think I've been asked this before, and then I always go, God, that seems really sad. Like a sad person, I don't have a hobby. Like,
if we take a crocheting or something with the cats, you can knit them something. And they can play with the ball of string.
I'm going to look up.
Everyone's
happy. Once I get off this podcast now, I'm going to be looking up hobbies, like flower arranger or something like that. The next time somebody asks me, I'm going to be saying, yeah, flower arrange.
Yeah. Next time I speak to you, I want to see a flower arrangement in the bag and I want to see what you've knitted. Brilliant. Just before we round up the podcast, again, just so people can understand a little bit of terminology and take away some bits and nuggets of information. What is clairvoyant, clairsentient, and clairaudient? What are the differences?
Now you're asking. Now I have to think.
Quick, Archie guide.
I know clairsentience is smell. So when you smell spirit, clairaudience is when you hear.
Yeah.
So when you hear spirit, and clairvoyance is when you see spirit, or spirit are planting things here, if that makes sense. So you might not necessarily hear them; they're coming into your third eye.
And would I be right in saying that you don't always have all of them? You might just have one or two, or that might be stronger than others. Those senses. Some
might be stronger than others. Sometimes when you're doing readings, one seems to work stronger than the other, depending on what spirit comes forward. Okay. Mm-hmm. So when you're smelling spirit, you're going to get like somebody's nan's perfume, for example. So you've then got to describe what the perfume would smell like. Mm-hmm. That doesn't sound strange, does it? So if it was like a lavender smell, you're going to say your gran really liked this lady really liked lavender. I think it's your gran, and things like that. Or you're smelling cigarette smoke or pipe smoke, or there's all different things you can smell that really is relevant to the person that you're sitting with or on the phone with. Or when you're hearing spirit, you like to shout a lot of things. But I hear a lot of things as in, like I said to you, I hear music. So I'm telling people, oh my God, this song's playing in from the spirit world. And then like I find myself after the person maybe goes away listening to that song because I've never heard it before, but I'm hearing all the words.
Yeah. I prefer that than the smell. Because it's good smells and bad smells, but hopefully sound would always be quite a good sound maybe.
Yeah, I prefer. I better not say anything in case my guide takes anything away from me. Right? I do prefer sound to smell because I find with the smell one, if you're smelling aftershave, you've got to think, what aftershave? What aftershave is it? Like if you haven't smelled it before.
Yeah. Keep you busy for the next week trying to figure out what smell it is.
Yeah.
What is it as you get older? You like lavender? Like I must be at that age now where I'm getting old because I never used to like lavender. And the other day I went, ooh, quite like lavender now.
Yeah.
I thought I'm getting
I like
old.
the smell of like fresh lavender, so I found myself like looking at lavender pots and stuff like that for outside. And when you look outside and like chives and mint and stuff, you go out in the back garden. I think it's an age thing. It's an age thing.
Settled and content. Oh well, Robert, it's been lovely speaking to you today. Any last messages for people listening? Where can they maybe find you, or what do you want them to take away from today's podcast?
So I hope they take away from the podcast that life's for living. That's what I always say to my clients. So life's for living, and we've only got a short time. I mean, I know what's the average age? 84, 87. We can live right into our 90s now. But life's for living, and we've got to live life. We shouldn't get so wrapped up in the now. We should get more wrapped up in the now and in the moment than thinking always about our future. And that's my job, to tell people about their future. But we need to live our lives now in the present. Even more so now, we need to live our lives in the present and just take that time for yourself. That's what I've been learning for the past year and a half. And that's what I want to share with people now, is about taking more time for yourself. Because everything we think we need to do is always going to be there the next day.
Yeah.
Right? I know we need to do the dishes every day, stuff like that needs to get done, right, and washings. But everything we need to do, it's not always that important if we take some time back for ourselves. And I really feel like I've been telling a lot of people that now, so that's my message at the moment. Ask me next week, it could be a different one, but that's my message. People can find me, obviously I'm on Ask the Answer, and people can find me, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, all the social media channels. If they type Scotland's Flamboyant Psychic, they're going to find me somewhere, right?
Brilliant. Well, Robert, it's been a pleasure and a love speaking to you
much.
today. Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll catch up with you in the future. But for now, good luck with everything.
Thank you. Bye-bye, sweetheart.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye. Thanks for listening to Ask the Answers podcast. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and save to your library. Remember, there are 100 psychic readers available on our website for readings 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. To triple your credits on your first purchase, visit asktheanswer.com and click on the new customer offer banner.